Good morning. In the compound, it was squat day and everybody's done and has left. And what I'm going to do this morning is Frank Phillips, buddy of mine, is kind of making, I wouldn't call it a comeback, he's just had a layoff from competing and is getting back in gear. And if I remember correctly, Frank has pulled 600 or so in competition and has done so conventional. There's a couple of things that we're talking about with setup and why there's a difference in setup with conventional versus sumo pulling. And this isn't a cookie cutter thing. This is not going to be a one size fits all thing. But in the case of Frank and people that are built like Frank, and even like myself and a few others, there's some very significant differences that will create issues and can be the difference between success and failure in the lift. Now with Frank, as he got bigger, it wasn't just here, but it was everywhere. When we wear gear with the deadlift, it gets exceptionally difficult, especially conventional, to get down to the bar and get into position. So one of the things, and I did at my heaviest weight, my current weight Monday was 311, at my biggest was 365. So what I would do, even raw, because there was so much body mass and girth, that I started setting up, because I pulled conventional, I'd be about a foot away from the bar. And that allowed me, especially with gear, to get down to the bar, take slack out, and as I'm pulling myself into shape and rolling it in, when it gets to my shins, I'm in the proper position. That's a great way to pull conventional, and especially with gear, because it allows you to get to the bar and pull yourself into position. With sumo, and Frank sent me a video, he tried the same approach. And what happens is you're on your toes, and when Frank sat back, he was never in position, pulls, and everything is out in front of him. With sumo, what I found is I had to wear my belt a little higher. This is with gear. And I wear the belt looser. I could still have my straps really tight, but I had to blow out, get here, get my breath here, pull into shape, and then I was ready to go. But I had to be right on top of the bar. If I tried to set up away, I never got my tightness. I never sat back. And I learned this from Phil Harrington, training with him. I had to also make sure that it was almost to the point of I didn't feel good about my balance standing up because my toes were so far out. But with the weight in my hands like this, and I pull hook grip, he wanted my chin up a little bit and allowed me to have a neutral back. And when I pulled, then again, just like we talked about in the explanation of how to pull yourself into shape, you can't pull just up. It's got to be up and back, because there's a point where we're pulling and the pulling is over. It's driving that body through to lockout. Okay, we're not pulling up, we're pushing everything through. In the really good deadlifters, you'll see that motion all the time. So you guys that are really built for conventional, but you see the advantage of adding gear and the lift that it gives you pulling sumo, you're going to have to get up closer to the bar and get your tightness. Think one hand at a time, and then it pulls you down to the bar. The secret's going to be where you get your breath. And for me, it's just something for you to try. I would blow out my air, get down, and then I was ready to pull. As soon as I got that grip and tightened and sat back, boom, I was ready to go. So give that a try. It's a subtle difference. Just remember, you're a conventional puller that is pulling sumo, and one is not in the same. The guys that are natural sumo pullers, it's beautiful. If you ever saw me pull sumo, it was one of those things where the weight either went or it was terrible. So understand that that's what it's going to be. And in this day and age, I'll say this about equipment, with the adjustable Velcro straps, find a happy medium. I could use briefs under the suit, but I had to go to a pair of single ply where I got a little bit more hip support, but it didn't restrict my legs to the point of not being able to push them out. So give those things a try, and hopefully that works out for you.